Welcome back. We're continuing the news. 20 new cases of COVID-19 were confirmed on Tuesday. This pushes the country's overall case count to 48,101. The positivity rate now stands at 5.6%. 3 additional deaths were also recorded, pushing the death toll to 934. 2 of the deaths were recorded in Westmoreland and the other in Clarendon. In the meantime, 171 persons are hospitalized with the respiratory illness. 14 are critically ill. There are 22,425 active cases. There's a popular Jamaican phrase, "Turn your hand, make fashion." Well, that's what the fisherfolk at the Bryans Bay Beach in Portland have resorted to as a means of survival. As Sandy Williams reports, they're pushing back against the odds brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Like any other sector, the fishing industry has been affected by the downturn in the global economy due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But in the name of resilience, several fishermen at the Bryans Bay Beach in Port Antonio, Portland, have found alternative means of making a living. They've now turned to repairing boats.
I buy a little old shell and build a boat for myself, repair it and expand it in a boat, and everybody fall in love with the work I do. So from that now, I get one work, and then when I do that the other one, you know, the way I did it properly, excellent people, them love it, I start get a lot more work.
And it's proving to be a lucrative business, also sparking interest among young people in Bryans Bay and the surrounding communities.
I have at least 4 young men that work with me right now. See, so many more coming on, they try to join and be a part of the team, but they can't manage the scratch, they call it fiberglass scratch. Yeah. You understand? So who you sitting here now working with me, them can manage the little itch with the fiber give off.
I've learned a lot, you know, and this is, well, I consider this a life trade.
Normally, I used to travel on the hotel program, but from the coronavirus, I have been doing fishing for the past 3 years. Fishing, fiberglass, and stuff like that. I mean, we are here, not much not going on. When fishing slow, fiberglass.
The fishermen are hoping more youths in the area will take an interest in the trade and help remove the stain of the illicit drug trade from the community. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
Agriculture Minister Floyd Green has provided more details on the government's plan to set up a crop insurance scheme for farmers. Mr. Green says discussions are far advanced with one local insurance provider.
We've engaged our local private sector entities, our insurance providers, to look at the models for crop insurance across the world and to see what they can do. And so far, we have one company that has been giving us really good feedback in relation to a modeling that they believe can work. The reality is that the crop insurance scheme has to be accessible. In other words, farmers have to be able to afford any premiums that are going to be charged.
He says the government has also engaged the Development Bank of Jamaica, DBJ, on the matter.
We've engaged some regional support, and we're looking at the best practices across the world. Yes, in areas like India, they have developed models that have worked in relation to crop insurance. One of the critical things is for our local providers to be able to get reinsurers for any sort of risk that they take on. So again, I've asked the DBJ, I've asked the Caribbean, CARICOM, to support us in that regard as a part of CARICOM's 2025 program, which is really to reduce our regional imports by 25% by 2025. De-risking of agriculture is a major goal.
Residents of Coffee Peace, St. Mary are describing as a potential threat to life faulty utility poles in the area. But the Jamaica Public Service, JPS, is insisting that the matter will be addressed.
Just last month, a man from Coffee Peace in St. Mary was electrocuted when he tried to remove a high-tension wire laying in the roadway. On Friday, residents revealed that the community is still having an issue with more high-tension wires posing a threat. They are calling on the electricity provider JPS to address the matter with urgency.
And I am standing right here. I'm looking at wires running through trees next to a lady house. And a distance from me, you can see the wire is hanging and the trees are on the wire. The internet service has been broken down from trees. So this here really needs help.
Yeah, the wires and the light posts, they are giving problem, and the trees them. They hang over the house, and each time the people passing, they just drop, and when they drop, all kind of things happen. Light gone, lick down, kill people, all kind of things. And the little kids them, they are walking, all the tree, the limb them drop in front of them, they can all get damaged.
The residents say the issue has been further exacerbated as some of the light poles in the community are not properly grounded. They are fearful that their homes could be destroyed.
The light posts lean down right now, and they come one time and hit it up on a locust tree, and it fall out, and I don't know where the wire is, and it lean it down, and it is at nothing now. And I know that light post supposed to hook on something, and it is at nothing right now. So I'm fretting I don't sleep in my house because I don't know what next.
When we contacted media and public relations manager for JPS, Audrey Williams, she said workmen are scheduled to visit the area to address the problem.
This is one of the areas that would be addressed in our ongoing maintenance activities. We have started work on the Clonmel Main Road, that is scheduled maintenance, and this will take us down into the Coffee Piece area by next week.
Cody-Ann Barrett, TVJ News.
It's often said innovation is born out of a crisis. This afternoon, we hear the story of a group of sound system operators in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, who formed a charity, this despite falling on hard times. Kelisha Williams reports.
On a normal Labor Day weekend, sound system operator Jomo Thomas would be gearing up for a host of entertainment events. But these are not normal times. With COVID-19 upending the entertainment industry, his business has been hit hard, and after months of trying to survive in a crisis, he and his friends decided to start a charity group in Spanish Town, St. Catherine.
Every day we get up and we support other people. What about the people we can't support? What about the people we see we and idolize we and consider we are somebody? We have to remember them.
A small contribution which they say is making a big impact. First, through the donation of cooked meals to the homeless and others in need. But we were told they will be taking things a step further.
We have some donation to make to some people who have some medical expenses and things, you know. So it's just a small step, but it's big in our heart.
But how can they afford to give back when they too have been going through hard times?
With a couple like everybody come and show them juice like a little club. You understand? Because there's more people where understand what going on and interested for really get helping, and so everybody just come show them Jews, so the Jews now put together, and then this is the result. We can just do what we can do for now. You understand what I mean? Whether it be the first, the second, the third, and we just would mind some other people see what is going on and do the same thing in their area.
Even as they look to start other projects in the community, they are still hoping that some semblance of normality will return to the entertainment industry, especially with Prime Minister Andrew Holness promising financial assistance.
The country take it one time and open up, but believe me, we are feeling up to the T, because sometimes if you know for say boy you go play at an event, it's like you feel like a something, you know, beyond the law. So you just leave it, and whenever it work, because there's not more me or the other sound system owners can do. If we just go on with.
Kelisha Williams, TVJ News.
And from charity to commerce, here's Cody-Ann Barrett with the Business Minute.
The Business Minute.
In the world of finance, the Bank of Jamaica has published data showing NCB continues to dominate the banking landscape with 38% of all banking assets at the end of March. NCB's assets at $729 billion are 60% higher than the holdings of the Bank of Nova Scotia, which has $450 billion in assets. Both account for 62% of banking assets. Meanwhile, Bank of Jamaica data show non-performing loans at the end of March were up 32% from the prior year. Total non-performing loans, which are loans that are unpaid for 3 months or more, reached $27.5 billion in March. Non-performing loans account for just under 3% of all loans made by banks. Grace Kennedy is scheduled to hold its virtual annual general meeting today at 2 p.m. after getting permission from the Supreme Court to do so. The company, like others, sought permission to hold the meeting online due to the COVID-19 pandemic and gathering restrictions imposed to curtail the spread of the virus.
And now for a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
In the next edition of the Health Report, we'll look at airway obstruction.
Airway obstruction in children is extremely common. It is important because the airways in children are extremely small and it doesn't take a lot to cause obstruction. Important causes of upper ear obstruction include foreign bodies, and it is important that we watch out for children when they're playing with small toys and other things that can comprise a choking hazard. Enlargement of the adenoids and tonsils is another very common cause. In fact, removal of adenoids and tonsils is the third most common operation done in children worldwide. This causes obstruction at the back of the nose and at the back of the mouth. So children present with snoring, mouth breathing, and episodes where they actually stop breathing during sleep.
That's the Health Report this evening in Primetime News. And now for today's healthy living tip. Eat small bites of food. Eat slowly. Supervise small children when eating. And keep small objects away from children.
In news overseas, a Dutch court has ruled that the Royal Dutch Shell must dramatically reduce its carbon emissions in a landmark climate decision that could have far-reaching consequences for oil companies. According to a judgment from a district court in The Hague on Wednesday, the company must slash its CO2 emissions by 45% by 2030 from 2019 levels. Now, this includes emissions from its own operations and from the energy products it sells. In sports, reigning World 100 meters champion Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce headlines 4 Jamaicans down to compete at the Doha Diamond League meet on Friday. Fraser-Pryce will once again face off with rising young American Sha'Carri Richardson in the women's 100 meters. The event will also feature the Ivory Coast duo of Marie-Jose Tallo and Muriel Ahore, as well as Nigeria's Blessing Okagbare. Other Jamaicans down to compete are World Championship silver medalist Shanika Ricketts and Kimberly Williams in the women's triple jump, while Natoya Gould will contest the women's 800 meters. And that's the Midday News. I'm Giovanni Dennis. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, have a good afternoon.